What we are seeing right now is absolutely unreal, as Juraj Slafkovsky has proven to not only be the X factor for the Montreal Canadiens, but the underlying statistics paint a picture that is far better than even his great games on the ice. And Coach Marty has one thing to say that completely revolutionizes how we look at his game. We got to dive into that. Plus, some new revelations on Hutson and Demidov, as an article at The Athletic dives more into their relationship, and oh my goodness, this is going to be scary for the rest of the league for a long time. We got to get into all that coming up on this episode, and let's start with Hutson and Demidov. Look, this article from The Athletic, Arber and Basu, linked down below. There's a Slaf article as well. Everything's linked down below as always, but Jesse, the start of this is great, right? Hutson and Demidov already showing how their partnership could drive the Canadiens. We saw them looking at the iPad on the bench, right? And we know, from a recent RG article, saying, look, Ivan Demidov just wants to help this team win. Clearly, Lane Hutson's in the same boat. But in some of these quotes, like Hutson saying, I can't even imagine. Ivan's so eager to learn about what he's doing wrong, how to generate. His work ethic is really special. He's my roommate. We talk all the time about the plays. Other than that, we kind of talk about mechanical stuff too. Jesse, this relationship is budding. These guys are together so much, and for a team that already has such good team chemistry, with these guys already showing these flashes of absolute, not just brilliance, but greatness, these extra things that we're learning about the relationship off the ice completely changes, I think, how we look at the future of the Montreal Canadiens.
And that's what's starting to make this team really feel like destined to win, dare I say. Like, we had the Nick and Cole chemistry. Now we're getting kind of Lane Hutson and then Demidov together. It's not just like the players and the skill, but the chemistry and how they work together, which really just has you feel like there's something just so special. There's a little bit of serendipity when it's coming to the Montreal Canadiens right now. I mean, with Lane Hutson, obviously that is super obvious. He is only 2 assists behind Cale Makar and Larry Murphy for most assists ever within 90 games. Important to note, Lane Hutson above Quinn Hughes, above Ryan Leach here in these stats as well. So just unreal what they're doing. And obviously you feel like they're just going to keep growing and really getting better. It's the work ethic, but it's also the skill to be able to complement each other, which is really like that dreamlike situation. And what we see like right now from Martin St. Louis, like, he's really kind of like deploying his lines kind of like in units, whether that's on the power play or the PK. So we're seeing Dobson, that's often like they're supporting really that top line, and they're starting to learn how to work a lot better together, which is just creating so many opportunities for Hutson and Demidov. Yes, Martin St. Louis saw the chemistry on the wall as well between these two. So whenever that second line is out there, we're often having the Hutson pairing out there as well to be able to bring out the best. But we know, Josh, like, they really have their sights set like on winning. And like even Ivan Demidov has been very bold about saying it. Like, my goal with the Montreal Canadiens, like, I want to be a part of this team to bring back the Stanley Cup the first time since 1993. So, I mean, I absolutely just love that this is what their goals are right now. But you have to feel, Josh, like, will they be satisfied even winning Lord Stanley once, given how elite these players are? No, like they want multiple kicks at the can. They want to be able to hoist Lord Stanley multiple times. I think they're on a perfect path to being able to do just that.
Yeah, like, again, but having these guys buy into winning is how you get those kind of teams, right? Those dynasty level teams. Again, we're far away from that right now. There's still going to be a lot of tweaks that have to be made. There's going to be development curves, but like you said, we're on that right path. The way we're starting this coming out of the rebuild, I guess we're out of it now, but like, another nice start to the season and coming off the playoffs last year, there's just so much to look forward to in the chemistry between these guys that are going to probably be or you could argue your best 2 players in a couple of years' time. Right now, again, a guy like Suzuki is definitely still at the top of that list, and there's other arguments, but it's looking unreal to have this chemistry, and that's how you build the team. But right now, again, you got to have lots of guys who do lots of different things. And one guy this year that has, I don't want to say changed his game, but really taken a step forward, even if the stat sheet doesn't always show it, though I think you could argue it does, is Juraj Slafkovsky. And I just want to start here. High danger expected goals. He's 3rd on the Montreal Canadiens behind only Caufield and Evans. And right now, like, his on-ice Corsi, which is just the shot attempt percentage, as in, like, when he's on the ice, the Habs control this much percentage of the shot attempts. 67%. It leads the Montreal Canadiens. But it's not just that, Jesse. He is number 1 in the league as of the recording of this video of any player to play as much as he has, 125 plus minutes. Number 1 ahead of guys like Chychrun. McKinnon is 3rd. It's Slafkovsky at the top. This guy is recently quoted after the game. I saw this on Reddit there. You can see Go Habs Go 31. We're all excited to go on the road. We expect wins. The Montreal Canadiens are ready to go. But Jesse, it's not just the shot attempts. I mean, his defense has been a big thing. Marty St. Louis saying it's not just our zone defensively, it's winning pucks back. And he said defensively, he's been really, really good. And we've been talking about the evolution of Juraj Slafkovsky, how his game has evolved. You know, he's getting some goals here, but he's doing it on the defensive end. Even if he thinks his defensive game isn't as good as maybe Marty does, the one thing that we're learning about Slafkovsky is when he's on the ice, good things happen. Same thing we're seeing with Noah Dobson. That, to me, is making a massive impact, not only for this year, but for so many years to come with this top line.
Yeah, and we know that Slavzilla has gargantuan expectations for himself, yes, as he rightfully should, right? And we see him, he's at the top of the leaderboard in shots, Josh, which I'm so happy. We've been part of starting the campaign, the Slavs shoot more. It seems like it's taking effect. It's building momentum. Of course, we're going to be on that for that to continue on here through the season. He's at the top of the leaderboard in high-scoring danger chances, in hits, you know, just really doing a little bit of everything right now. So Slav shooting more, playing physically. That's exactly what he needs to do. Back checking, which has been a huge part of the Montreal's defensive system here. And the fact that, like Marty's saying, like playing really, really good defensively, like that's big praise from Marty. Like he's a little bit reserved. Like if he's saying that, he feels like he's just doing an unreal job. And it shows that Slav is focused exactly on what this team needs to do to win. They want to take a more of a defensive focus. And given that they were at the top of the league last year in goals against, you know, really smart move that they're doing, that Slav's buying in to those little things that are really going to help this team win here. So what we're seeing right now from Juraj Slafkovsky, Josh, is giving me just so much confidence that we're seeing first half Slav that we can't just make the playoffs, but that we can really make some noise once we're in there.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? And his style of game, it was really conducive to winning, right? And I mean, again, being right there at the top of the Habs and, you know, shots on goal, hits, he's right there. And that physical element of his game, and I think you'd agree, has just nothing but developed every single year, from looking like he's a baby deer in those first few games to being a guy who is so physically imposing you cannot win the puck off of him in the corners. It's been a wild transformation, and for a guy that's still so young, to see what's going to happen in the future, I'm really, really excited. And, you know, Juraj Slafkovsky with that top line, I know, Jesse, there have been some people saying, oh, maybe that spot is up for grabs. To me, no matter what, at this point, the chemistry with that top line, the specific elements that he has brought to that top line, especially with that improved defense this year, I think this is the top line that is not going to change for years to come. Maybe it will, but I just can't help but think that that element he brings, that chemistry he has, those guys knowing how to play together, they're consistently at the top of all these metrics. I think that line's here to stay, and I think it would take a miracle for someone else, or like Demidov turning into like a 120-point player, which is maybe not crazy, for something to change there.
And that's a great point, because the depth for the Habs is going to be their keys to victory once we get in the playoffs. Because last year, we know Spencer Carberry, the head coach of the Washington Capitals, his mindset basically going to that series was, if I can stop that top line, I will basically win the series. And it was a right way of thinking. We didn't quite have that depth throughout the lineup. So right now, with what's going on, Slav obviously doing his job. He's allowing for Demidov to play on that second line, which now is getting paired with Hutson, as we were mentioning earlier, allowing Dobson to play with that first line. And we're just starting to see it click right now. The fact that the Habs are off to a good start while having some key players still getting new to their positions and really not fully unlocked in terms of what they can do offensively, I think it's just so huge for this team in terms of establishing that depth to really play winning hockey.
Oh, and Slav is doing exactly that, playing winning hockey. So is a guy like Noah Dobson. So are so many guys, and that's why, like, look, it doesn't matter if it's after a win, after a loss. There's so much to look forward to with this team, because for such a young team, for them to be clicking the way they are, even with some kinks along the way, it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be bad games. There's going to be bad plays. But at the end of the day, we see what we have, and it is really special. And the rest of the NHL wishes they were in our shoes right now. Leave your thoughts on all this down below. That'll do it for this episode. Hey, make sure you tune in every single day. We got videos coming out before games, after games, all the latest stuff on the Montreal Canadiens. This is your home for it. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.